Hey guys, it's Colin, and today we are back with our Mario Kart game. And right now, so we have our Mario, right? But then you can see he can drive around wherever he wants and just slam right through the barriers into the grass, and he's still going full speed. And another problem we have here, there's only one player. So today, we are going to fix both of those problems and just do a little bit more. So, first thing, with the problem about him driving around anywhere wherever he wants, we can fix that with something called a collision mask. And we should have downloaded that last time, so let's just go look at it for a second. So you see this thing, it looks like basically the same thing as our track, except the collision mask is a lot more basic. However, you can still see the main points of the track. You can see the track, the grass, and the barriers and grass. So, you know how Scratch has this touching color thing? So we can use that to actually detect what surface our Mario is on, because this lines up perfectly with this. So then if he's touching this gray color, that means he's on the road, and if he's touching this sandy color, that means he's on the sand. And lastly, if he's touching this green color, he's either hitting a barrier or somehow drove onto the grass. So let's just go implement that. So to actually upload it, there's this upload sprite from file. Just click that and then find your collision mask, open it up, and you'll notice it's not perfectly centered. You don't have to do that by hand, we can do it in our code. So we go to events and then do when this green flag is clicked, motion, go to, set X as 0 and Y also 0. So now perfectly centered there. Two more things you have to do. So you can see this guy, he's on top of Mario and all the other sprites, right? We want him to be under everything. So the way we do that, in looks, there's a go back 1 layers, change it to 100. And yeah, I know 100 is a bit overkill, but we just want to make sure. So click that again, green flag. Yep, we can see our Mario. Now, final thing. You and I both know this collision mask is a lot uglier than the stage, right? We don't want to see this thing. But we can't actually hide it because we still want to interact with it. So we're going to use a ghost effect. So we do set and then ghost effect to 100. Now ghost effect, it's basically hiding it, except you can still interact with it. And 0 to 100 changes the opacity, so there we go. That's gonna work. Now, we don't actually want to click this green flag yet. We want to do something with our collision mask, because even though we've got this part, we're still not going to be able to do anything. It's not going to affect anything because we don't have any code interacting with it. So we go to player 1 now, and then, so since we have the color, which is in sensing, so we need some if statements. So we go to control. I actually want to take out 2 if statements. Okay. Just bring that move down here. So now we go to sensing to find this 2 touching colors, touching color and touching color. So he's touching the road. We don't actually have to do anything. It's just normal. However, we set 1 to the color of sand. So sand should slow him down, right? So the way we're going to do that, since our speed variable controls how fast he's going, we can just slow down the speed. So you go data, set speed to, and then we're going to use a multiplication block. And back to data, so speed times 0.8. So what this does, it just lowers the speed variable a little bit, and then it just keeps slowing it down until it's almost stopped. And now we take this second touching color and change it to the color of the grass. So now the grass, if you look over here, is actually surrounded by barriers. You should not be able to touch the grass. So the way you're gonna fix that, when you hit a barrier, what happens? You bounce off, right? You don't just slow down, you bounce off. So bouncing off is also the same thing as going backwards, isn't it? So a clever little thing we're going to do, if you multiply something by a negative number, right, the other number also becomes negative unless the other number is negative, but our speed won't be. So we go data and then do set speed to operators, another multiplication block. Back to data, speed times minus 0.6. So this is just going to set the speed to a smaller negative number, which means it's going to start moving backwards, right? So now we can click our green flag. Now we can try this out. Drop into the grass. Oh yeah, we're slowing down. Now let's see what happens once we get to the barrier. Bam. Oh yeah, see, we're bouncing off. So, code's working. Now what we want to do, we have our collision mask and everything. Time to add our second player. So, remember this Mario, right? You go to costumes, right? You remember all of this, importing, and duplicate all that stuff? Yeah, you're gonna have to do that for Luigi too. Now, I know it's a bit painful, but come on, let's just finish this up. So we go paint new sprite, import, and then just bring in all your Luigis. Open them up. Delete costume 1. Now, I'm not gonna do this with you because I did this last time. You should know how to do it, but I'm just gonna refresh your memory a little bit. Now, see, all the Luigis, they're out of order, right? So first we need to organize them, starting with Luigi 2 is actually all the way on top, and Luigi 1 is all the way in the back. So you're gonna go Luigi 2, then 3, then 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way up to 12, and then 1. And after that, you have to center them. Remember, take the center tool, center it at like around middle bottom. Okay, I didn't do it very like specifically. You could zoom in and try to get it better, but that's all we're gonna have to do. And then lastly, you're gonna have to duplicate starting from Luigi 12 and then going all the way down to Luigi 3, duplicate them and then flip them. Okay, because right now we only have sprites for turning in half a circle. And then I'm just gonna do a jump cut to when I'm done doing this. Pause the video right here and then resume when you're done, because right now I am done. And let's go back to scripts now. So don't do anything in Luigi yet, because even though we still have our Luigi, we need our second player red dot thingy to actually control him. So right click your player 1, click duplicate. It should automatically rename as player 2. So now inside player 2, you should still have all this code, right? You don't really have to change anything except over here when this like when A key is pressed, turn right or left. Just change this to the arrow key. So A is going to be left arrow and D is going to be right arrow. Boom. Okay, so that's all you need to change for player 2. And for Luigi now, we go to Mario. You can just drag all of Mario's code inside of Luigi and duplicate them. Yep. Get these out. Okay, same thing in Luigi. Change A to left arrow, D to right arrow. And then also go to player 2 instead of player 1 because we do not want that to happen. However, we actually want to go back to player 2 because you'll notice we duplicated the code, right? So that means their start position is going to be on top of each other. We don't want that, so we actually want to scooch it to the right a little, so we're going to change X to 206. So let's try this. Click the green flag. Oh yeah. And then, yep, we're in business, guys. Okay, so right now we actually have a working game, right? But there's no way to win the game, and you don't know like what time you're at and stuff. So let's add a timer right now. We go to stage and then do events. When this green flag is clicked, sensing, and just do reset timer. So the timer's reset every time. Now we do this on the stage because with these like control things and like timers, that kind of stuff, you generally want to put them on the stage. Control variables, all that sort of stuff. So let's go back to player 1. Now, the way we're going to detect when you're finished is by counting laps, and you want to do 3 laps. So in player 1, we go to data, I would do make a variable, call it lap, and then make it for this sprite only, okay, and leave it checked. Second one, we're going to actually make something called touch finish, and this is just a track when you're touching the finish line, so for the sprite only also, but this time uncheck this one. And for player 1 lap, move it over to this top right corner. And over to player 2 we go. Make a variable, another one, same thing as player 1. Lap for this sprite only, leave it checked. Second one, touch finish for this sprite only, uncheck. And move player 2's under player 1. And here we go. Okay, so this collision mask is being very annoying. So right now we want to go to looks, hide, but we also want to put a show up in this when this green flag is clicked. Now there's no actual way for us to detect if it's touching this finish line yet. So then what we're going to do, we're going to paint our own finish line. So you paint new sprite and then convert to vector mode. We're going to use a line tool and just draw a finish line. Take it. You don't have to center this one because we're not going to be doing anything with it. And yeah, just have a finish line that pretty much covers the entire thing. So this is good enough. We go to scripts and then click the I, quickly just rename it to finish line. So we just know what it is. Now we don't want to see it, okay? The only thing we have to do is when the green flag is clicked, set ghost effect to 100 because this is admittedly uglier than the actual black and white one. So set that to 100 and that's all we need. So now in player 1 and 2, we're going to just detect when they're touching the finish line. And that is why we have our touch finish variable. So we go to control and do if, then, and take out an if else block. Okay? So inside this if else, first you want to do just see if we're touching the sprite finish line. And if you are, inside here, we want to go to control and then take out another if block and then data if, oh no, we go to operators and then do if touch finish equals 0. Now, the reason we do this, touch finish is actually going to be our boolean variable. And a boolean variable is a special kind of variable where it only has 2 states, 0 and 1, which is false and true. So when we're doing if touch finish equals 0, and this is saying if touch finish equals false, or if we have not touched the finish line yet, then now is when we want to change touch finish by 1. So now we have touched the finish line, and then change lap by 1. Okay, so now we need one more if block, and this one is just to check if you're on lap 3, because that's how you know you won. So looks and if, oh wait, not looks, we go to operators equals data if lap equals 3. Now we go to looks and do say, and this is where our timer comes in. We go to sensing and timer. So there's like say how fast you were able to do it, and then control stop all. And inside this else part, So if we're touching the finish line, but we've already touched it, so like we're still moving over it, right? And then it senses again, because we don't want to add 2. We only want to add 1. So then we do data set touch finish to 0. And with this gigantic block of code, just drop it into player 2 also. And then put it inside the forever loop. There we go. And one last thing, we haven't set our touch finish and lap either. So you set touch finish to 0 and set lap to -1. And the reason we want to do this, you see, the Mario and Luigi, they start like behind the finish line, right? So then the second they cross the finish line to start the race, we don't want it to be set to 1 immediately, so we do it -1. So then once they cross the line in the start, it turns to 0. So we want to do the same thing in player 1. Touch finish to 0 and lap to -1. There we go. So let's try this out. Seems to be working. I'm just gonna play Luigi because it's too hard to play both of them. Let's see if our lap thing works. Come on. This game is actually... Oh no, I'm touching the sand. Yeah, this game is kinda difficult. Oh. No! What the heck? Come on. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, what a beautiful turn. Uh-oh. Jesus. I'm pretty bad at this. Okay, we're crossing the finish line and yep, our lap change. So this is working. And this is all we're gonna have to do for today actually, so we're all done here. And if you want to challenge yourself a little, you could try to add like levels, and you have like a level selector and everything with different tracks, or you can try to make a single player mode where you have a bot controlling either Mario or Luigi and you play against them. That'll be a nice challenge though. Anyways, next video we're going to start a new project, so if you don't want to miss that, just subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys next time.